Hey guys, welcome to the devlog for 0.17, which is the update that will be coming out next Monday. So Monday the 24th. So there's going to be a lot of stuff in this update, and not all of it's done yet because obviously we're not at Monday the 24th yet. So one of the instantly noticeable things is the fact that we've changed the background menu quite a bit. So one of the things that it's clearly noticeable in the new menu is that there's an ETA for each update. So at the moment it says 4 days, 6 hours, 20 minutes, but it'll be the countdown for the next update every update, and that's just pulled off the internet. So it's going to be pretty much correct every time, and it kind of brings down the question of like, when's the next update? Well, what and those sort of things that pop up quite a lot, especially when I'm like logged in game and talking to people. And the other thing obviously is that the platform is like spinning and stuff, and if I just reload the game, there we go. If I reload the game, you can see that there's a ship that like starts off at the top and sort of slowly makes its way across. And that's just a kind of a cool way to instantly get people into the atmosphere of the game and what it's about. And see, it's something cool that you could potentially build in the game. I mean, it's not an impossible structure by any means. And this appears in like behind every menu. So if I just log in here and go to the server lobby, you can see that it's on here as well. And the reason why there's like a black letterbox around the video at the moment is that, as you probably know if you play the game, is that the lobby and the login screen is like a lower resolution than when you get in game. It goes to the resolution you have set. So let's go into the game. So one of the first things that I've had a look at and changed is the fact that from the last patch, the disabled block buff or boon or whatever you want to call it, like, didn't stack, so you'd get hit. If I can just damage myself a bit here, you'd get hit and it would appear multiple times. As you can see now, it's not doing that. You just get it as one, and then the timer just increments. And that was the idea before, but it was just a mistake on my part that missed it. So it meant that if you were in a fight, you ended up with all these boons straight across your screen. That obviously wasn't intended and looked really bad. One of the other usability updates from that is that like something that a lot of people have been asking for a long time, and it sort of required me adding a bunch of stuff to how the UI works to enable to add it. But I've added a mouse sensitivity slider, so you can just move this up and down. If I go all the way to full and then save, I can like super fast spin around, which is faster than the original by like the sort of default by quite a bit. I think it's ×2 what the original was, so super fast. I guess ideally, if you're playing very competitively and you want as bigger edges as you can get, you want to have it as sensitive as possible. And then obviously the other end of that is to just slide it all the way down to the bottom, which will be like about 1% of what it was before. So you can see it's like really slow. Obviously you'd never have it quite that low, but you can have it up to here where it's a bit more. If you're used to slower shooters and things like that, and maybe console games, you can have it at this sort of speed, and so on. You get the idea. It's just a sensitivity slider that should make it easier for a lot of people to play the game. So one of the major things that's in this update that people have been waiting for quite a while is a mounted repeater. I've got this one standing on top of a control panel at the moment, so I'll just move this. But basically what mounted repeaters are is they're essentially like machine guns that you can place down on your ship, and they're sort of an anti-personnel weapon that allows you to attack crews of other ships. They have a really high fire rate, and they use ammo from ammo crates similar to how cannonballs work, but instead of using cannonballs, they actually use copper bullets similar to the shotgun. So if I just if I haven't already, I'll just cheat in some copper bullets. And you can see on this ship there's an ammo crate here, and I'll just put that in there. You probably noticed if you played quite a bit before is that you could already place copper bullets, and this was kind of just ahead of actually adding it in. So you can see the bottom right here. If I go into the pause menu, bottom right, you can see the ammo that you've got for the mounted machine guns, and all the mounted machine guns on your ship will take from this pool. So it's basically the same as the the cannon ammo. And if I just shoot one down here with some blocks, So basically, it goes it's the same as the cannon, where it goes down where you point it, but then you can right click on it to start using it, and then you can just sort of point it within about 90 degrees of the way it was facing, and then you can just start firing away with it. Really, I've got the sound turned off at the moment for recording, but it does play a sound when you fire it, and it is quite loud. So you can fire it, and you see the ammo going down there. It shoots 10 rounds every second, so you can burn through your ammo quite fast if you're not careful. It's a very effective weapon, and it's a lot of fun as well. I mean, like you can kill. I was shooting birds with it as a test, because obviously logging in multiple accounts is a bit awkward. So I was shooting birds with it as a test. So it's pretty fun. So another major feature for this update that is just really useful to basically everyone. I mean, like, it's the sort of thing that we can use as like a tutorial aid when people log into servers, and also something that you can use to help like sort of spread information between you and other players, and that's signs. So these are signs. I haven't decided whether they'll appear in different sizes yet. This is the base sign that I've been working on. As you can see, they're like holograms essentially. To fit in with the game. I sort of started off when I was like trying out different ideas for signs with just sort of singular blocks. The problem is the text is always really small and those sort of things, and it sort of doesn't really fit to the aesthetic of the game. To have a wooden sign or a plaque or something on your ship is kind of like quite lame. And I'm really big into 3D UI, as you probably guessed, with like the turret detector and the radar and things like that. So I really wanted to do like a holographic display for the signs, and I think that's really cool. I haven't decided on the recipe for them quite yet. As you say, I'm still working on this update. So if I just knock this one off, you can just hit through it because it is a hologram. You just break it off, and you can see it's just like a flat panel. The textures aren't quite done yet. As you saw, it had a wooden texture there, and it is the wooden texture in the icon. So if I place it down, it just says enter the text you want. You enter your text by right clicking the sign block, and then all you have to do is right click this, which is sort of the hologram generator here, and I can start typing. So I can type like hello world. I can simply hit like backspace to go down a space, and you get a lot of space. It's up to 256 characters. Really simple. Tab to exit when you're done, and it'll stay like that, and it'll display to all the other players like that. And I think it looks really good. I think it really fits the world. I think there's still some things I want to do with it. As I said, I might do different sizes to fit different things, because obviously these are quite large. If you wanted to have smaller signs, that would be totally viable, and something that's probably needed like on a ship. Maybe you don't want like giant signs everywhere and things like that. So just hit tab to exit, we're done. It just stays like that. Everyone, and then once you hit tab, it's updated for everyone else around you, so they can see the changes you made. If the chunk is protected, like by admins, if you're running a server, you can't if the chunk is protected, no one can edit the sign apart from you. So you're good. Like for that, no one's gonna go around and like vandalize your signs by your like beautiful spawn building with like instructions and stuff and how to play. That's all good. So yeah, this is signs. Like cannons, you can they sort of just place down and face you. So if I place one there, it's going to face me. If I place one there, it's going to face me. As you can see, they intersect. And I thought I was going to leave that really, because it's just it's like holograms is what it does. It's up to you to where you place it. It gets a little bit awkward when you start trying to detect like these sort of like collisions, when it's really like an aesthetic thing. Like, why would you place them like that? And you can just break them, they drop like normal. Just as a quick example, you can add them to ships as well. Like, a ship is like no difference to placing it on anything else really. Just whack one down there. This is my ship. Lol. So I'm not sure how well this is going to turn out frame rate, but I'm recording this, which is like the animation software I use, and this is one of the other things I've been working on. I'm not sure if it'll be done for this week's update, but basically, one of the things that I want to add is an NPC merchant that travels around. It reduces grind a bit because you'll be able to trade with him, trade the materials you don't want for things that you do want. Like they'll all have like specific values of what they are, and probably implement some kind of item like gold coins or whatever currency amount that allows you to trade with them. And it's the sort of thing you can use with other players as well, and it kind of expands on that a little bit with trading with players. So they give him like a little spin around. He's an interdimensional traveling cat. So the idea is that he sort of zaps in on a ship. Everyone on the server is notified that he's arrived, and it sort of gives you like a rough estimate of him, or probably just shows you him as a marker on the world map, and then you can just go and find him and sail towards him. He'll probably move around the map for. He'll either come in on one end of the map and disappear off the other, or he'll come in like in a random position and sort of move about and then leave after so long. There'll be definitely like plenty of time to travel to him though within that. As you see, he carries like a backpack, and he'll have like a bunch of cool stuff on his ship as well. I've got to think about like design things of how to protect his ship, because I'm really big on sort of making things not like hard limits. So you can't like not so you can't destroy his ship because it's like magically protected because he's an NPC and it would ruin the game if you broke it. But more like if you destroy his ship, the loss is too big for you. Like something attacks you, or he attacks you, or something happens that sort of reduces that and reduces the ability to be able to do that, but doesn't make it impossible, because there's some really cool emergent sort of stuff with attacking NPCs and things like that. He's not rigged at the moment, so he's in this sort of T-pose. There might be some more work that goes on to him, I'm not sure of him yet. Some of the shading probably needs to be sort of messed around with a little bit. But yeah, he's kind of an interesting character. I'm not sure whether they'll have voice acting or anything like that yet, or maybe just like static dialogue that appears in the chat. So anyway, this is the end of this devlog. Thank you for watching. I post like regular updates of what I'm doing on the game on my Twitter, which is at Mr. Benjamin with 3 M's. I'll put a link in the description. Join, upvote it on Greenlight. We're almost there, 90% of the way into the top 100. Once the game's in the top 100 on Greenlight, you can, Valve will like actually look at it and decide whether they want it in the store, and they do about 50 every month, I think. That's been the sort of process so far, is that they've been doing batches of about 50, though is a mysterious beast. Who knows, like next week they could be like, oh, we'll do 10 or whatever. So there's no guarantees that it'll be greenlit, but we're getting pretty close, and I think that's definitely something that's going to massively help the game, both in basically just bringing like a larger audience to the game. Anyway, thanks for watching. Goodbye.